Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing this time? Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is an action-adventure game developed by Respawn Entertainment, published by EA. Is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, or Star Wars Jedi Order, not Fallen Order. It came out on April 28th, 2023, excuse me, on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. It's a single player, again, like I said, action adventure, where you get to play as a Jedi and do all the cool Jedi stuff. Again, it's a sequel to Fallen Order, which was a great game. You know, we played it back in the day. I don't remember if we were doing this at the time, but we may or may not have reviewed it. I don't remember. But I remember we all liked the first one. So this is the sequel to that. So we'll just go around and see what everybody thought of this sequel to the first game. Pat, what did you think of Star Wars Jedi Survivor?
It's more of the same. If you played Fallen Order and you liked it, you're going to like this one because it's more of the same of all of that stuff. It didn't really add a whole lot of new. I mean, I feel like it kind of shrunk the playable area down a little bit. Like the area that you're in is massive. One of the planets is massive, but there's only a few places to go. Unlike the other one, I felt like there was a little bit more planets to explore and stuff like that. But, you know, it's around the same amount of playtime. I beat it. I probably put 25 hours into it. A little bit of side stuff. I think I did all of the, what they called side quests, the rumors and running around. So 25, 30 hours into it to get that far. But yeah, it's more of the same. It's a good game. It's got some graphical issues and poor PC players are just not able to enjoy much of it with the rampant issues that are, plaguing the PC, but I played on Xbox, and for the most part, it ran okay. It did look like a potato. It has some graphical and texture issues, loading in lots and lots of graphical issues with this game, even on Xbox, in my opinion. It crashes frequently enough. You know, you put in probably 4 or 5 hours, you're going to get a crash or two in that time frame. Just crash right to desktop. And the only way to save the game is to go back to the meditation circles, which is annoying. Which means that if it's been an hour or more since you went to a meditation circle, you lost everything that happened between them there. And that happened to me probably 2 or 3 times. But overall, it's a Star Wars game that's fun. So it's it's a good game. You know, they just need to get past. They need to put out some patches and fix the issues. Outside of that, it's a good game. It's got like cool force power. It's got all the standard ones. You know, there's not much in this one as far as force power as it wasn't in the other one, but this one does have a couple more lightsaber stances that weren't in the other one, you know, but this is not going to be a spoiler episode, so I won't tell everybody what they are so that you can figure them out on your own. But, you know, Shane, what'd you think of this one, man?
It is more the same. Exactly like you said. And that's not a bad thing. If you enjoyed, like you said, the first one, this one's just as good. I think, my biggest complaint is this game never really drawed me in like the other one did. And it might just be because it is more of the same. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I need a little more, newish things in a sequel to really keep me motivated. But that's, it is more of a me thing. I love the characters in this game as well as I did the Fallen Order. They brought back Danny DeVito or Grease, whatever the hell his name is. And then they brought you in some new characters and BB one, or I think it's BB or DB or DP, whatever his name is, the robot. He's back and everybody loves him. He's adorable. I enjoy swapping parts out on him and making them look different in his colors and things like that. The gameplay is the same. This is more stances like Pat had mentioned. I'll be honest, the lightsaber parts are still to me the weakest thing to do in the game because it just, I don't know, never felt like it was really anything except for a very minor graphical thing. So that's just me. I enjoy the gameplay overall, though. I mean, it's like I said, it's more the same, but it's still solid gameplay. Now, unlike Pat, I didn't have, to me, I thought the game looked great and ran good. There was a few slowdowns. I never had a crash. But there was some stuttering here and there, but nothing that broke my game. So, I don't know if it's a randomness to it or what, but PC players are all getting their butts handed to them. I'm not sure about the PlayStation version. I do know I played on Series X, and it ran really well for the most part, but it did have a few stutters and slowdowns, especially when you had at the beginning when you get a good herd of enemies on you. It would slow down just a bit here and there, but other than that, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues, honestly. I think they should have added a lot more new things into the game. That's the one thing I really think that they lacked on. I don't think there was near enough new to it. Granted, I mean, they gave you quite a bit in the original. I mean, all your force powers are, they were all really cool, really done well. This one here felt more like you restarted as a Jedi, and then you built up a lot of the same powers you had previously, just making them stronger. I can push 2 people. I can push a big enemy. I can push a turd. So, I mean, it's just kind of the same thing. That's my biggest complaint. There's not enough newness. So, what about you, Nick? I mean, I know you're a big Jedi fan. At least that toy you got in the back looks like a Star Wars toy. What do you got?
I have a Jedi fan. Yeah, it is more of the same. Which, like you all said, it's not a bad thing. The first one was great. So, just add on to what you've done already. And there you go. You got a success, right? I do like, one thing I did like, Shane, you were talking about how you're kind of going from start to start of a Jedi up. They didn't quite do it in that way in this one, because you do start out with some powers. You have force push and force pull, so they didn't do like the whole like Metroid thing where you get or amnesia thing where you guy gets amnesia, or some little bug comes out of nowhere and zaps all the powers out of you and you got to start all over again. So at least they didn't do that with it. You do have some of the powers and things like that you had at the end of Fallen Order, which is nice. How to use a lightsaber, those types of things. So I do like the stances. I think the stances is a pretty cool aspect of it, and the force powers and things like that. The game for me on Series X as well, it did have some performance issues when I played it. There were times where the frame rate decided to take a nosedive when certain things were happening on screen, and then it would come back. But other than that, that was really the biggest issue I had, was just the frame rate deciding it was done for the moment. I've heard that on PlayStation, it's the same kind of experience with as far as consoles go, right? However, I believe at the time of this that we're recording this, they did come out with a patch for consoles that are supposed to hopefully fix some of the issues with what's going on in consoles. And then the PC patch came out the day before, so hopefully that's resolved some of these issues. But I know on PC, it's pretty rough, which we've been seeing, and me and Shane talked about that. We've been seeing that happen quite often. So, but as far as this game goes, I mean, it's again, like you guys said, it's more of the same, but there's nothing wrong with that being the fact that the first one was so good. The first one was a great game. Maybe Respawn took more of the easy route with this, right? Just kind of continuing on what they did previously, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing, where they're like, hey, let's just add a few new things. We got a lot more cosmetic options and different force powers and the stances and things like that. Being able to customize Cal and being able to customize the little BD or DP one, take his legs off and stuff like that. that's cool. People like doing stuff like that. Different haircuts, you can have them in a mullet, right? I mean, different haircuts and color styles and things of that nature. So people like that type of stuff. So you're just adding more of that. I do wish that they would. One of the biggest things as well that Pat brought up is the meditation stations. Like, I was really hoping with this one that I like the idea of the meditation station. I just wish there was like a auto save in between or something like that, like hidden checkpoints where you're not, as you progress, you don't have to go to a station in order to save your progression. There's like certain points where it says, okay, I'm going to save the game here and here and here, and then like when you get there, that's when you can do your skills and things of that nature. But it doesn't. Like, if you die, you're basically back at the last meditation station that you last used, and then you got to kind of go traverse through the area again. But I mean, I think one of the great things about this game, which I'll disagree with on Shane, is I think the lightsaber combat's excellent. So it's a game in a long time that's really done a really good job with lightsaber combat. I think Respawn's done a great job with it. So yeah, now they need to make Titanfall 3, but that's something else different. But ultimately, I think this game's good. So
I didn't really have a hate for the sword play of it. It just didn't feel new. It just didn't feel like they've done anything. My biggest problem with the sword play is I think if they would have went more with a Batman movement on it, I think it would have been better. But there is.
I think that you just haven't played enough then, because
that's all part of the stances. That is true. The stances will give you different movements and things like that.
I have and that's something I was going to say is this game did a lot better job with the stances, in my opinion, because I didn't stance switch at all in Fallen Order. And in this one, I'm stance shifting all the time, from a single target based stance to a multi-target based stance all the time. And man, there's nothing like getting in a group of 10 or 20 stormtroopers and whipping out the multi-stance type lightsaber and just going to town on them, deflecting blocks and chopping people's arms and heads and legs off, and and just deflecting bolter blasts while you're in the middle chopping people's heads off. The multi-target stance is really good. And it feels useful in that circumstance, and it feels useless on a one-to-one target stance. Like when you're fighting a single person and you're using a multi-target stance, it feels like it takes forever to kill anything. So they really do build the stances in this game a lot better than Fallen Order did. Because I found myself swapping between, because you only have 2 stances equipped at any time, and there's 5 total stances to get. So I have 2 that I run all the time. And I'm swapping out all the time depending on what I'm running into. If I run into a big old huge group, I'm doing the multi-target stance. And if I run in there and there's like a couple of bigger baddies, I'm doing the single target stance to try to just drill them down faster. My one thing I hate about the Fallen Order, or the Jedi Order series, because that's probably what this is going to be called, but Survivor and Fallen Order both, is the reuse of zones by forcing you to have to come back later because you lack an ability to get to something in a zone you're already in. I loathe that crap to no end. I hate spending hours playing and you get to this little section and you're like, can I get to that? And, I've spent 20, 30 minutes and gave up. And then you're playing down the store and you're like, what the hell? That ability can help me get to that thing I was trying to. And that annoys me to no end, because you spend so much time and effort trying to get to something because you're just not sure if you suck at the parkour piece to get to it, or if you're missing an ability, because there is no key to tell you that there are a couple of abilities that have keys that kind of key off that this is, I need to do something with that I don't have the ability to yet. But for the most part, you don't know that. You're just going, I want to get to that. And you're just banging your head on the wall for 20 or 30 minutes before you're like, screw it, I'm done with it. And then you come back and you get an ability and you're like, I wasted half an hour to an hour dicking around with that. I hate that aspect of these types of games. And because it makes you revisit the zones over and over and over. Because I have the ooh shiny complex where I'm like, I know there was something back there. And every time I get a new ability, I come back and I'm like, oh crap, I still can't get to it. So I rehashed zones probably 3 and 4 times because I would come back when I got a new ability and go, let me just traverse through here and see if I can get everything, instead of being, more sensible and waiting until close to the end game when you have all abilities and then just going back through all the zones. Because by the time I got to that point, I was like, I'm just done. Let's get this over with. This game is short. I mean, I spent 28 hours and I did most of the side stuff and completed the story. You could probably beeline the story in 18 to 20 hours if you wanted to. So, but I think lightsaber combat is its stronger suit. Its force powers, I thought they felt kind of weak in this game. Like, I'm not using my force abilities very often until I got like towards the end of the game and I got like massive force lift or force smash to the ground, where I can do groups of enemies, because the one-on-one targets were just like, yeah, this sucks. It's worthless for me to do this in the early game, because I'm like, there's 10 guys and me force pushing one guy or force lifting one guy is not going to help me. It's going to take him out of the fight for a few minutes, but I'd rather just force pull him into my lightsaber and end it or use him as a human shield, So
yeah, that's my favorite move from the very beginning of the game is just grab him, stab him. It's beautiful. It's simple. And it's a way to remove an enemy. I like that. So
they just reduce the amount. I think the force regen slower in this one than it did on Fallen Order, because it seems like a lot of times I'm waiting for my force ability to recharge back up so that I can force pull somebody in or use a force ability. Until you're in the middle of a real heavy lightsaber battle, and then it's just because you're hitting the guys like constantly, it's just like, but if I'm like trying to stay away from big baddie, waiting for my force power to regen, it feels like I'm running forever. Just like, don't catch me so I can use this force ability on you. They need more force abilities. I want force lightning.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Cal Kestis needs force lightning.
I'd like to see him come up with co-op on it. I mean, playing
you run around with a companion a good chunk of the game, so I don't know why they couldn't put something like that.
You don't have to both be Jedi. I mean, one of you could be, just
Marin or Bode or
Danny DeVito, whatever. I don't care. I think the game would be really cool with a co-op. So, especially if it's, one of you plays Jedi, one of you plays Bode. Bode's got a jetpack. You can do all the stuff, blasters. So, I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Make sure Respawn listens to this.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, the rehashing the zones is my worst thing about these games. It's just the same thing over and over. And even things that aren't abilities help you, like until you can, and to try not to give away anything, but until you can interact with certain creatures in the world, you can't go to certain areas because you can't do stuff with them to traverse through other parts of the world. I hate that aspect of this game. I wish I could just I don't know, because I find that annoying too, because I'm a Jedi, but then I forgot how to do force lift and force smash and, and mind control and all this other BS. He forgot how to do all this stuff. I mean, come on, it'd be fine if you started with these abilities and then you learn new ones. As Shane was saying, there needs to be new force abilities, and the cosmetic system in this game is garbage. The outfits that you get in this game are so lackluster and boring that I was just waiting for the next best thing. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't replace the item set that I got like early on through the entire game. And once I beat the game, I Googled it to see, hey, what's some of the better cosmetic armor looking stuff out there? And
there's not.
It's not. Yeah. And I literally
for the DLC.
I guess, man, because I guess, because I'll just say I put on the commander set and I never changed it, because everything else just looks like trash in the game.
Yeah, I mean, once I got Jedi the mullet and the goatee, I was set.
Yeah, and hair, and you can do hair and mustache and goatee. They got porn stash, the mullet, stuff like that. But I'm talking like outfits. Like the clothing in the game is so garbage. It's like, I'm a Jedi. I know you're trying to be in a little incognito, but by halfway through the game, the entire galaxy knows you're on the damn planet. So let me just whip out my Jedi robes but there are no Jedi robes, The closest thing you get is to the hermit set that you get for pre-ordering the game. And I'm just like, whatever, this is stupid. There's some there's some Jedi stuff in there, but it looks like you're wearing a tunic that you tucked into your belt. So, it's got some interesting concepts to it without giving too much away. There's some recruitment for your base and things like that, and mini games within there. There's a lot of collectibles. EA really Ubisoft the hell out of this game. There's so many damn collectibles and so many side things to do, but one thing I really hate that EA does in these games is the rehashing of the zone by I can't quite get to that item in the back of that zone, all the way in the back. I spent an hour getting to there. I can't do anything because I don't have the ability, the traversal ability to get to there. So that's my biggest pet peeve with these is stop artificially inflating your game by reusing the same zone over and over if you want me to come back and do the side stuff. It's
backtracking's
nice that
been
they
a money
added fast
saver
travel.
forever.
You know, you could fast travel from meditation point to meditation point, but it saves some time and it is nice. But as much as you traverse between zones, if they didn't add no fast travel, it'd be a lot less of going back and forth. But I just don't like that aspect of it. It's like, come on. If you're going to remake me learn new abilities over and over and over again. So if they ever do a part 3 to this series, am I going to forget how to do force push and pull again and got to relearn it all? Massive push and pull. Am I going to forget how to do a wall dash? Am I going to forget how to, he's going to forget how to parkour. You're going to do memory loss. It's going to be freaking Star Trek Memory Alpha or something. You forget everything.
He got hit by a tauntaun and lost his memory. Thanks, Nick. You put that ideal out there. Respawn's going to take it. He got hit with a taser bug and lost his memory.
Yep.
Marin threw him out of the spaceship when she got mad at him. So hit him with that cast iron fry pan.
He'll forget how to use lightsabers. You'll just play half the game with a stick.
Yeah. So.
How do you turn this thing on? Got his mullet.
He's got a flashlight.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the game has the customization. You can build your lightsaber like always. You can build your BD robot. You can build other stuff in the game and try not to give away that you will get as part of your stances and things like that. You can change your hair. You can change your beard, mustache, your clothes. But in my opinion, all the cosmetic clothing was very lackluster. Like I literally within the first quarter of the game got the commander set, and I'm like, cool. Is there something better? I want a pair of Jedi robes, and that was the best set. And I wore that thing through most of the game. I was just like, you kidding me, right? I want more of the RPG elements in that aspect. I mean, I literally played enough to where I've leveled up all force abilities. They're all fully capped. I leveled up all the endurance ability, and I leveled up both lightsaber stances that I was using and another one. So I only have two skill trees that aren't fully leveled out in the game. Because I wasn't playing those stances. So I'm like, I don't want to put any points into them, but I got points to put in them if I wanted to. I believe there's probably enough points in the game where you can level up everything if you wanted to. It's just, I got tired of going back over the same place that I already been over like 20 and 30 times and kind of crap like that. So.
Yeah. Backtracking has always been a gimmick in games, and it's just always been annoying.
And to me, sometimes it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is not knowing when I get to a spot, if I can't get to that item because I don't have the traversal ability, or if it's because I'm suck at landing the parkour move, because sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's just like, I get squirrely, and I'm like not hitting the landing properly on the parkour move, and I'm like, so I'll spend 20 or 30 minutes and then get frustrated and leave, and then be like, yeah, because there's one part in the Jawa camp where I spent literally 30 minutes trying to get through this air vent that's going to jump across, and I was like parkouring it and just barely missing the corner. I'm like, I just got to be doing it wrong. And then no. Like 3/4 through the game, you get an ability that just allows you to do it, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm just like such a pain in the ass. But that's what these games are about, and that's how they create longevity, is because there's only, I don't know if I should give this away, but there's only like 5 planet destinations. There's only 5 destinations on the map to go to. So, yeah. and one of them's not available until the end of the game. So,
No,
you know,
I
so
do
really,
say though, I did like the very beginning. It's probably one of my favorite areas. The very beginning of the game where you start out. I really loved all the background stuff that was going on and all that. That was probably my favorite area of the whole damn game. Just me.
well, good, because you're going to be on that planet for a really fucking long time, and then you're going to leave and you're going to come back, and you're going to leave and you're going to come back, and you're going to leave and you come back. Oh, and you're going to leave again and come back in.
But at least it was pretty.
They sucked all the air out of it, right?
Spaceballs.
wrong.
That's Druidia.
Had to get meter
Wrong
made.
movie. Sorry.
He had a Druidia of that. All right. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a fun game. If you're on PC, I would probably wait till they fix it. But if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you're probably going to play without any issue. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you like lightsabers, and you like Fallen Order, you're going to like this one. And I like it. As much as I'm complaining about things I don't like, I do like it. I played it till I beat it. So, but I'm also a Star Wars fan. So
there you go. Shane, do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, I want a
Wrap this up?
Spaceballs game. Thanks.
ludicrous speed.
Yes. We're going
They've
plaid.
gone
plaid.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree. I think it's if you're a Star Wars fan, if you like the first one, just like Pat said, you're going to like this one. I think it's a good game. It does have its flaws, but I think overall it's a pretty good game. So, Respawn, I'm sure they'll make a third one, being that this one's probably going to do pretty well. And then hopefully they'll work on Titanfall 3. But no, but let us know down in the comments below. Have you played the first one or have you played this one? And what do you think? Are you playing on PC? Let us know how it is. It's been pretty bad. But if you're playing on console, let us know your experience. I know there have been some issues, but they have patched things. So hopefully those patches are kind of ironing out the kinks, even though having to patch the game after the fact seems to be a trend lately, especially a lot lately. We used to be a trend sometimes. Now it seems like this trend is catching on. It's catching fire. So let us know down in the comments below what you think about the Star Wars games and, which one's your favorite? Of all the Star Wars games out there, which one's your absolute favorite? I love these games, but it's not my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite is an old Star Wars game, but we know what Pat's is.
Knights of the Old Republic. That's
Knights
yours,
of the
isn't
Old
it?
Republic. No, mine, no.
Wow.
I actually...
Wow.
I love Knights of the Old Republic. My favorite Star Wars game though is Shadows of the Empire. But that's a back to the N64. I love that game and the story of that. Like after that game, I even got the books of following and read through this Shadows of the Empire. I thought it was a really cool part of the Star Wars arc. But anywho,
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
yeah. Even though it's like super asshole now, but it'd be cool if they redid it or made a new one based on Shadows of the Empire story arc and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But anywho, let us know down in the comments below what's your favorite. Everyone's got their favorite Star Wars games. Let us know down below. Other than that, thanks for everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. We'll see you next time.
See ya.